Thank you very much. Great to see you here, and I'd just like to reiterate Anti's point. I've been to 5 Mobile Mondays in the last 4 weeks, and by far and away, many more people here than anywhere else I've ever been. And I say that as a founder member of the German branch as well. So I'm very jealous. I don't know how you all do it. So well done, everybody. So today I'm going to talk to you about AdMob. How many people here have heard of AdMob and know what we do? Very few. We're not very active in the Netherlands market, and hopefully that might change as a result of tonight. We are the world's largest quality mobile advertising network. And what that means is when we started in 2006, we went to find people who've got mobile web pages, and there's an awful lot of them, and said to them, if you're a publisher with a mobile website, come and join our network. We'll serve mobile advertising on there, mobile web advertising, in the form of text links and banner ads, and we'll share that money with you. And not surprising, quite a few of those publishers came on board with us and are still on board with us. And once we've got our inventory, what we call our inventory, the pages to serve the ads, we can then go and talk to advertisers about that. Now, one of the things which happens when you have a mobile website is that it's visible from all over the world. So pretty much from day one, we were global. And by the time I've finished talking to you tonight, we'll have served ads in 160 countries throughout the world. And it goes amazingly quickly. When we started, we got a few publishers on board. And as I said, we persuaded them to come and work with us. And in our first 6 months, we served 30 million ads, which we thought was pretty fantastic for a startup, with probably 2 or 3 people at that stage. In our second 6 months, we served 1 billion. And in our third 6 months, we served 5 billion. So this is a business which is growing hugely. Today, we've done just over 26 billion ads in the last 12 to 24 months. And you can see that we're doing about 2.6 billion every month. And that's growing again still very rapidly. So this is a business which is really happening, really growing, and we're making a lot of money for both publishers, and we're satisfying a lot of advertisers, who I'll come on to in a minute. Today we have really 3 products, one of which is the CPC text banners, which I'll show you examples of in a minute. We have graphical banners, which we sell on a CPM basis, or a cost per impression basis. And we have a sort of hybrid in between, which is a banner or a text link with an image based on it. We've just launched that, and that's being taken up by many of our advertisers with great enthusiasm. Essentially, we have 2 products, one of which is self-serve, so you can actually come to our website as either a publisher or an advertiser. If you're a publisher, you can sign up and pretty much start earning money within the next couple of hours once we've approved the site and made sure that you're the sort of content which we want on the network. And similarly, as an advertiser, you can come on, create your own ads, and it'll be up and running in about 10 minutes. We can probably get better with a bit of help from us than those 10 minutes investment, but you could, in principle, come on and do that. But we're more than happy to work with people and improve the quality of the ads which are produced, and actually hold people's hand in the first few months while they're getting going. So what that really means is, from a brand or an advertiser point of view, you can reach out to people via the mobile channel in a mass market context for the first time. I'll come on to the sorts of advertisers we're working with, but they are across the board. If you're a website owner, and we learned this in the first .com boom, it's not enough to just build a website. You need to promote it. And what we can do for both traditional and new publishers in the mobile web scene is we can actually help them promote their sites. If you're an operator or a portal or a publisher of the web, we can make you money, and we can make you money today, and quite a lot of it. Obviously, it depends on how many page views you've got a month, but we are making people a lot of money these days. And from a mobile content point of view, the Yambas of the world, for the first time, it really opened up an opportunity to use the web as a marketing channel as well as a distribution channel. So I'm actually chairman of the Mobile Marketing Association for the EMEA region, so I've got sort of 2 hats on, really. I'm very anxious to promote the cause of mobile marketing generally, and the mobile web, in specifically for AdMob was concerned. And with my Mobile Marketing Association hat on, my personal mission is to try and make the mobile channel, the mobile marketing channel, more than 5% of the total value of all advertising by 2013. That's just my mission. So that in about 5 years' time, I want to be 5%. And that's not of all digital, that's of the $500 billion worldwide that it's currently worth today. I've been in this business for 8 years, and I've been a skeptic as well as an enthusiast. And I really do believe that that sort of growth is possible. So we're at the beginning of a boom which is going to dwarf the first internet boom, which we saw 10 years ago. So where AdMob's products fit is in the top left-hand side view, banners in terms of text and graphical banners. And if you don't know what mobile advertising looks like on the web, that's what it looks like. So here you can see a text ad, and here you can see over here an example of a banner ad. When we first started, the majority of our advertisers tended to be on the left. They tended to be mobile content people. And that's not surprising, because if we couldn't persuade those guys that it was the right thing to do, we probably wouldn't have had a business. But as we've gone on, we've seen other major retail brands come in, both retailers all the way through. You can see internet brands, including our three main competitors there, Yahoo, Google, and MSN, as well as consumer products. And I'll come on to examples of those in our case studies section. But this is now a mass market medium across all forms of advertisers. So I thought I'd share some numbers. I mean, one of the things which we generate as a business is an awful lot of statistics and numbers, because every time somebody asks to see one of our ads or sees one of our ads, we capture stuff like what make of phone it was, what type of phone it was, what the capability of it was, etc., etc. So we know to serve up the right form of advertising. And you can see this in very big numbers indeed. The United States are by far the biggest, accounting for nearly 50%. But there's some surprises here that we were serving ads from very much beginning in big markets for us, like Indonesia, India, and South Africa. Taking one of Anti's earlier points about people not using the mobile web, I absolutely agree. Only about 30% of people are using it in Europe. But what tends to happen is that once the mobile operators make it available on a reasonably priced basis, either on a fixed price data or very, very cheaply, which is the case in Indonesia, South Africa, Indonesia, Romania, and India, you suddenly see an explosion of mobile web usage. And I think in less developed markets in terms of that sophistication, like Germany is an example where I live, you see that very few people are using the mobile web because it's so expensive. There's this whole thing about, you surf the web and you get a huge bill at the end of it, and the whole idea of bill shock was kind of invented about the mobile web. But that's changing, and as markets are maturing and operators are seeing the opportunity for fixed price data, you see that explosion. So people are using it in great volumes today. You can see some of those numbers. But where we see the real explosion in growth is when the fixed price data packages come available. As far as the Netherlands are concerned, it's not one of our top 10 markets, but we are doing about 5 million page views a month here already. So if anybody did want to try something, we're ready to do it in a small way. And if there's anybody here in terms of a publisher who wants to come and make some money, we can make money for you from now, because we're already serving ads here. Some more of the information we kick off, and we've got these breakdowns by different markets, places, and everything, but you can see that Nokia is still very, very dominant in terms of the percentage shares. And these are actually the phones which are seeing our ads, and therefore they're more sophisticated mobile users because they're users of the mobile web, and therefore it's slightly different statistics that you get from the market share data. These are actually real hardcore users of the mobile web. But probably more interestingly, smartphones are now nearly 25% of the network worldwide, which is again significantly higher than you would expect from the market share. So we're at a stage now where we can start to be slightly more sophisticated in terms of what we can deliver to the consumer. This is across the whole network, and you can see that 73% of people can download video clips as an example, and I'll show you some case studies of those in a minute. But in more developed markets, certainly in the Netherlands, certainly in the UK, certainly in the States, that rises to in the 90%. So a lot of people can see video as an example, and we can make sure that any ads which involve video or people watching video can actually be only targeted to phones which can actually view them. We've also got the MMA standards here as well, in terms of we subscribe to the MMA, Mobile Marketing Association screen standards, which is just as well since I'm the chairman. The news which we announced a couple of weeks ago was our free analytics package. I mentioned that we kick off a lot of data when we're doing our day-to-day business. And so we've always been very open about sharing those metrics and that data with the marketplace because there's not very much information. But our big decision was to actually allow people to use this package, which you can install on your site for free, whether you've been an advertiser or a publisher. And that'll give you the ability to track pages, users, and that kind of thing, which you would expect from the web, which hasn't ever really been available yet on the mobile web. So it's a big decision for us to launch it. It's completely free, whether you're a publisher or an advertiser. You don't have to work with us already. You can just install it. If anybody's interested in that, there's a beta program which you'll find details of on the website, or you can drop me an email and I'll introduce you to the right people. I'm not sure I could guarantee getting you up the queue in the beta test because there's a long queue already involved, but hopefully we'll be launching it in a more public way in the next month or so. So, well, does it work? Yes, I hope. I've given you some case studies here. I mean, this is one we did with MTV, which was promoting their European awards. One of the things we found about mobile advertising is that to get the most out of it, it's very important to invest some time in thinking about what the ad says, but also what happens after the click. That's something which a lot of advertisers aren't really thinking about yet. They think, oh, well, if I get people just to click on this thing, I've done my job. Well, actually, that's only probably the beginning of the conversation. What you need to do is you need to engage them after the click and think through how you're going to talk to them and what the conversation is going to look like. MTV Europe were very proactive in terms of having lots and lots and lots of different ads running all the time, which reflected the gossip in the pop industry and the music industry at the time, so that people were almost clicking on news to find out what's happening and then going and engaging with MTV. And you can see there that in comparison to last year, they increased their traffic and downloads, by huge numbers of percentages to do that. Land Rover, this was, again, a good example of thinking through what happens after the click, rather than just engaging with people at a very top-line level. Here you could do three things as a consumer. You could either watch a video, and remember what I said about video being very high in penetration now. 88% of people who click through actually engage with the brand in that way. Then 2% did click to call to talk to their nearest dealer, and 9% actually went out and found where the nearest dealer was so that they could presumably organise their own test drive. That's pretty powerful engagement and delivered at a very, very, very cost-effective rate. Adidas, this was a good example of a very simple campaign where they promoted their football portal before via the mobile web. They gave us 4% of the budget, and yet we delivered 40% of the traffic. So amazing results by using the mobile web to promote a website for the first time. Coca-Cola, again, the interesting thing about here is they allowed people to click through to a video and notice the 130% play rate, which means that 1 in 3 people were actually clicking on it and using it for twice rather than just once. So very engaged audience. Nearly running out of time here, but I'll just flick through these very quickly. M-Metrics have been pioneers in this whole space about research. One of the things that they found by hooking up with TGI, which is one of the standard measurements of advertising, is that if you have a mobile and you're engaged on the web, you're much more likely to be a champion of different products. You can see that, while that might be no surprise if you're trying to promote a mobile phone, there's other ones down here as well, such as food and alcohol, where you're much more likely to champion that in terms of word of mouth to your friends. Won't go through this chart in any detail, but I'll put them on the website and you can have a look at in your leisure. But this basically says that even surprising categories like financial services, the same thing applies. You're much more likely to be a word-of-mouth champion and be influenced by the mobile. So the future is pretty rosy. If you'd like to see a copy of the slides or have any questions for me offline, please feel free to drop me an email, russell@mob.com. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you very much, Russell. Again, we're on time.